Hey crew, thanks for tuning in. I'm Michael Choi, and today we are interviewing Karl Secondis from the Northern Territory. Karl, tell the viewers something about yourself, give them a little bit of a background.
Thanks, Michael. Well, I've been in property for the last 19 years and joined my mother's business many years ago and got a bit of a taste of what real estate's all about. Started out as a hairdresser actually, which is quite interesting. But
I'm looking at your hair when you say that. He passes.
Anyway, it's all people. So look, real estate's been a fantastic journey. I've had a couple of businesses. I'm back into a business now, an independent business. It's a very small operation focused on property management, and I'm just working the selling space every day out in the trenches.
Karl says it's a small business. He just comes off the back of what we're in 3 weeks in your month this month, and he's written 250 in gross. He's coming off the back of a month that he wrote 120. So he's been quite modest. But thank you, Karl, for sharing your knowledge with us today. Just a couple of questions, a few questions. Firstly, an icebreaker. If Karl Secondis was a biscuit, what biscuit would you be?
You kind of preempted this before, and I've been scratching. I was going to say Tim Tam. You told me that you were a Tim Tam, so I don't want to be a copycat, but I don't know, maybe a Scotch finger.
And why a Scotch finger?
I don't know too much about biscuits, Michael. I've got a pretty healthy diet, but when I do break out, I do jump into a Tim Tam.
Oh, well, there you go. He's a Tim Tam too. All right. So, on a serious note, there's different agents watching this, different agents in their careers, in the life cycle in their careers that are watching this.
Yeah.
Firstly, there's newbies, okay, the people just started the industry. What advice will you give them, given that you've been in the game for 19 years?
Sure. Look, certainly for me, keep it really simple. Don't try and overcomplicate it. Don't try to come up with new ideas. Keep the fundamentals really simple and be consistent. And probably, first and foremost, find some people that you resonate with that are in the industry already doing well, and look at what they're doing and what results they're achieving, and you may want to take something away from that. Success leaves clues. John McGrath says it time and time again, and no doubt that would ring bells to your mind. And certainly for me, Darwin's a small market, so I felt a bit limited in that market. So I looked at people around Australia that are successful, people like Tostovan, Adrian Patera, people like that in other markets that have been writing big numbers for a long time in their career. And you want to rub shoulders with those people, get to know them, find out what they're doing, and take some of that away and integrate it in your business.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, and so that's a newcomer. How about a rising star? So someone that's been in the business for, say, 3-4 years, they're writing 400 or 500 gross. What advice would you give them?
Yeah, look, certainly. I mean, it all depends on what they want their business to look like. Because it's one thing to be a principal and have an expectation that everyone wants to write be a big business. But I guess everyone has different ambitions. So I think trying to maintain without the burnout scenario of kind of getting to the top of the mountain and then crashing and burning because you're exhausted.
Yeah, it's common in real estate.
You kind of have this big run, and all of a sudden this person had amazing potential, and they fall to pieces because they're exhausted. So I think the key is when you start writing numbers like 400 or 500, what's key is maintaining balance and maintaining balance of quality of life and family. Along with the adrenaline, the rush and the excitement of writing the numbers. So I think if you want to take your business to a next level, you have people like, people that work with PAs, those agents in that higher income bracket, so that they can leverage their time, maintain some balance and still increase their numbers.
And coming back to the newbies, just something that crossed my mind, do you think the newbies should have a life balance? Or do you think they should go hard? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's interesting. When I first started, I was only a couple of years short of having my first child, so certainly I sort of was able to be quite selfish at the beginning and really engross myself in the business. And I think you really need to start with.
Yeah,
I think I'm
a big believer in that.
Yeah, I really think that the old analogy of getting a jet off the ground, you use a lot of fuel, getting it off the ground, and I think that's your first 2, 3, 4 years, just depending on the talent of the individual. But I remember, I think Josh Fegan said this at AREC last year, is that it's much easier now with the technology and the information and the training available for people to actually become superstar agents in 12, 18 months. And it's so true. You don't have to be in the business 10 years to get to the top. So I certainly think that you need to be prepared to sort of have a commitment to working quite hard in your initial few years to get your business established.
Okay, beautiful. And how about advice to people like yourself that have been in the business for a while and that are writing over 500,000 gross?
once again, I guess it stems back to what they want out of it, and really where they want to take their business. But generally, I think like anybody, once you get a taste of something bigger, you kind of have a bit of an ambition to kind of push it further.
I just want to hit this. No, you don't. You get it. You just want to go to the next level.
So look, I mean, I think that. Think big, you know. Don't be afraid to think big, you know. I mean, I'm writing numbers now that was sort of, you know, numbers I got excited about over 12 months. You know, I mean, to write over 200,000 in 1 month. You know, earlier in my career, I would have been happy to do that in a 12-month period.
Yeah, for the whole year.
So it's kind of like, but it also sort of sets a new benchmark of what am I capable of, and that kind of gives me the confidence to say, well, now that I've done that, what's the next level?
What is it?
You know, and so certainly it'll be quite some time maybe before I exceed these numbers again, but maybe not, you know. So I mean, the proof will be in the pudding, but I'm not going anywhere. So I've got 10 years of selling in front of me, so
it's not more than 10. Well, you probably retire earlier the money you're making. But so 19 years, you would have made mistakes.
Yeah.
What's a big mistake? What did you learn from it?
Probably, you know, I sort of embraced this concept of putting a PA on Michael early in my career, you know, just through some of the training exposure that we kind of got. And I think put the PA on, you kind of feel warm and fuzzy that you've kind of got this business within a business kind of model, but weren't really producing the numbers. You know, it kind of felt cool and it felt groovy.
Yeah, it
and I know
cool.
you
Got a PA.
I know you use the word, you know, we're in a sexy business and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And it, not that it sort of goes to your head, but you kind of feel sort of in some ways comfortable. It certainly changes things because you've got someone you've got to pay before you get paid. You've got, you know, you're actually running, you know, this micro business within a large organisation. But I just don't feel like I was sort of committed or clear in my mind about really, you know, writing some serious numbers to justify that investment, you know. So I mean,
so now you're not running with a PA?
I'm running with a part-time PA. Certainly, if I keep going the way I'm going, I'm going to crash if I don't get another PA, and I certainly need a PA that's licensed so that they can play a more effective role in my business, so that I can have time out of the business and my business can still function without me being there. Yeah. So that's kind of on my agenda at the moment, but my part-time PA is licensed. Yeah.
So your big mistake was, or not your big mistake, but a mistake that you learned from was what, putting on the PA too early?
Yeah, probably a false sense
of for show or something? Or?
No. I think having the PA was a positive move forward. Yeah. And I was actually sharing a PA with another salesperson. Yeah. But that was still a financial drain on the cash flow of what those two, what the both of us were sort of producing. Yeah. So I think to justify that PA, I think we needed to be writing bigger numbers, and we didn't step up to the plate and sort of commit to that.
And so, what do you think the numbers are? What should an agent earn before they put on a PA?
Well, look, I mean, at the end of the day, look, in my space, I kind of think you need to you need to do a sale a month to justify the cost of the PA, and then obviously you need to make money in addition to that. So. What are the numbers? Yeah, look, I mean, I think you probably need to be writing, 300.
That's exactly the figure that I had in my mind, 300.
Once upon a time it used to be 200. I had a lot of salespeople at 200 all thinking that they need a PA.
Yeah.
I don't think that there was enough left in it for them to make it really worthwhile.
300 was the figure that I had in my mind. I didn't get it from her, but so that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll wrap it up soon, but if you met yourself...
Yes.
If you could meet yourself 19 years ago before you started, what would you have told yourself?
About what I'm doing?
About real estate.
About real estate? What would I have told myself? Yeah. A bit stuck with that one, Mike. I'm just trying to think what that would be. But, I mean, I certainly think that I came into real estate with a burning desire to write to write $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
That was kind of my ambition when I was 20.
Yeah.
And certainly in the environment that I was in, I kind of felt that was, that might allow me to drive a reasonably nice car and go on a nice holiday, and life would be fairly comfortable compared to what I was making as a hairdresser.
Yeah.
But certainly I think that with the people that I've sort of surrounded myself with and the journey that I've had, I certainly think that I would think a lot bigger in terms of what's possible in terms of numbers. Yeah, and I think you don't have to wait for that 10 years of being in the industry to get there. So why wait? You know, just fast forward time.
I like it. And just for fun, tell the viewers something that they don't know about you.
Well, everyone sort of thinks I'm Greek because my name sounds Greek, Secondis.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
So, you know, it's kind of a bit of a thing that I deal with all the time, but no, I'm actually from Mauritius. So a lot of people don't know where Mauritius is, but everyone's heard of the dodo bird. Dead as a dodo. The dodo bird is from Mauritius. So southeast coast of Africa, that's where you'll find Mauritius. Great honeymoon destination.
Oh, there you go. Well, there you go, guys. Karl, thank you so much.
Michael, thank you.
You're a
Pleasure.
champion.
Cheers.
Take care.